Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2003, it's a Ford Taurus, the 3.0. It's the smaller engine, it's not the 24 valve, it's the smaller engine. The problem we have today is that the vehicle was towed into me, they dropped it outside my building, turn the key, you get absolutely nothing. Everything lights up on the dashboard, you turn the key, you don't hear any clicking, you don't hear anything. Unfortunately, it was outside on the ground and I couldn't film it for you, but I just want to tell you how you can get it started one more time so you can get the car to move. This particular case, you have a person sit inside the car, turn the key to the on position as if you're starting the car, and then you get your mechanic's friend and you tap on the starter. And if you tap on the starter while they're holding the key on, most of the time you can get it to start, maybe one, two more times to get the car inside. So I was able to get it started. I got it inside the shop. What I did know from checking it outside is that I had power to the positive side of the starter, and I know that I had, when the key was in the crank position, I know I had power to the start side of the starter. Very important. If you don't have power going to the start side of the starter, this hammer isn't going to do you any good. So if you have power going to the start side and you have power to the battery, then you know the start is no good. So I'm going to bring you up there, I'm going to show you how to diagnose it, and hopefully you can bang it a few times and get it to start up, which is what I did. So let's bring you up front. I'm going to show you how to check it and then how to go ahead and replace it. So all right, let's get up there. First thing you're going to do is, you know, I love this power probe, so we're going to use the power probe. What we did is we went down to the starter over here, and there's a little wire right here. It's actually the thicker one, and you can see how it lights up red. That means we have power there. Now down on the starter itself, you know what, let me go underneath the bottom. I'm going to show you what it looks like down on the bottom also. Okay, now looking at it from the bottom, this wire right here is your start side. Right now you have negative right there. It's supposed to be positive when the key is in the start position. Now, you'll have your assistant go inside, turn the key to the crank position, and if it lights up, then you know the starter has got power there. Okay. All right, try it one more time. Okay, well, it's going to start now, but last time I did check it, there was power at the start side, and there was power on the positive side, which tells me that the starter was no good. From banging it a couple of times, now it's going to start a few times, but we don't want to leave the customer stranded, so we are going to be replacing it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up top, and we're going to disconnect the battery up top. And then we'll continue down on the bottom here to remove the starter. All right, so again, if you have positive on your main feed and you have positive on your start wire when you're trying to turn the key to start it, then your starter is no good. Now, if you don't have power here, then you obviously have another problem someplace else in the system. But this did have power here. I checked it while it was outside. Then after banging it a couple of times with the hammer, now it starts up and it looks like it's going to continue to start. But we don't want to leave the customer stranded, so we are going to replace this. All right, let me disconnect it up top and we'll continue. Okay, now before we go any further down with the starter, we're going to disconnect the negative battery cable so that we don't have any issues down the bottom. All right, we'll get in here with a socket and just loosen the cable. And we'll just relocate this off to the side so it's totally out of our way. We will clean this up a little bit, obviously, before we put it back together. All right, let's lift it up, and we're going to continue on the starter now. Okay, I know this is a little tight down in here to see, but we're going to actually take off that wire right there and that wire right there. This is a 10 millimeter, and that's a 13 millimeter. So you can get up here with a wrench or a socket, whatever works for you, and loosen it. And then we'll take that totally off. And just pull the wire out of the way, just like that. Then you can get up here and take that one off too. And then we'll take that out. Okay. And we'll just take that wire off as well. And we're just going to relocate that off to the side for now. Alright. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out this bolt right here and one more right up there. So now you can break it loose with a ratchet, with a wrench, whatever works for you. And we'll do the same thing on the top one. The top one you're going to have to go by feel because it's in a tight spot up there where you really can't see very well. All right. And I'm going to take this one out too. Now the starter's just hanging in there pretty much by itself at this point. You really should have two hands on it, but I'm going to try and film it as much as I can. And now the starter, you just hit it, and it should come out. Alright. You just have to lift it to the back and pull the nose out, and it's out. Alright, let's get the new one, and we'll install the new one now. Okay, now we just lay the bolt starters side by side just to make sure that they're the correct ones, which they are. And now we'll take the starter and let's get it back up in there. Now this is going to be a little difficult to do, but you're going to lift it in. The back of the starter goes in first, and then you bring the nose over. You put it in there like that, and now I'm going to try to catch it. Don't know if you're going to see anything here, but we'll see. Alright, we're going to try to catch it in like this. I'll show you. We're catching the one bolt in there like that. And then we're going to catch our second bolt up on top. Right here where it came out. Now I'm going to have to jiggle the starter and tighten it at the same time. I don't know if you're going to see any of this, but we'll see. Okay, I don't know if you're catching this, but we'll see. Okay, a lot of times you just got to go by feel. You really can't even see up there. Alright, now we can tighten them. Tight. And tight. Okay. Alright. 1 second, we'll come right back. Okay, now that these are all tightened over here, we're going to reattach our lead here. Slide it on like that. This one goes on here like that. Now make sure you use your lock washers that was given to you. Very important. I'll screw it on by hand for now. Okay, Same thing on that little 10 millimeter there. Lock washer. And then 10 millimeter. Screw it down as far as you can by hand. Now I'm going to need two hands to do this because I want to hold this wire like this while I tighten it up, so we don't want it to ground out. So I'm going to tighten this one, and then we'll come right back. Okay, now that we have the 10 millimeter as well as the 13 millimeter tightened up, and the bolts here on the starter here and here are tight. If there was a cover on here, most of these do have a cover. Put that cover back on. This one didn't have it, so we can't put it back on. All right, and everything is tight down here. Now we're going to lower it down. We'll reconnect our starter, and we'll start it up. Now we can reconnect our the negative lead on the battery. All right. Tighten it up. Alright, now if you did your job correctly, we should get in the car, turn the key, and it should fire right up. Let's see. That's it, we're in good shape. Okay, alright, so remember, just make sure you got the two bolts on the top of the starter tight, your positive and the start wire tight, and that's it, we're all set. Okay, I was hoping just to change or clean up these ends, but they're in such poor condition, we're going to replace them with an aftermarket. Instead of changing the entire cable, the customer wanted to try to keep the cost down, so we're going to be changing just the ends. All right? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect that negative cable again. This off to the side. And we're going to disconnect this one here, which is going to be a little difficult because it's so rusted. There really isn't much movement, so we're just going to remove this here. Didn't think it was going to come out, but I tried. Alright, we're going to take that off. Okay, this thing is just in such poor condition, we're just going to twist it off. And then what you do is you get in here with a pair of cutting pliers. And you cut the end off right here. That looks like crap, doesn't it? So we'll get rid of that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to strip this wire down just a little bit. You can use wire strippers like this to strip it down. Like that. Or if you don't have that, you can use a razor blade and just strip it down. But be careful you don't cut yourself. Okay. Maybe just pull that insulation off. like that. Then we're going to put our new ends on here. Like this, and like this. And then we put the end on here like that. And then we tighten up these screws right here. They're either whatever size you are. This one here is 11 millimeter. We're just going to tighten it up by hand first. Make sure your wires are in a little way. And then you can tighten it all down. And once you've got it pretty much tightened down, then we'll use the box end of it. So it's nice and tight. Now we have both cables back underneath here where they belong. We're going to clean this up right here. There's a tool that you can buy to clean it. You can just go over the top. And it cleans it up really well. Now we are going to use battery protector on here, just so you know. This one will go over the top. Now, as you're going to see, it don't fit. Don't go crazy. They make a tool that you can spread it. It's made specifically for that reason. This goes on here like this. And you spread it just like that. Alright, and then we're going to put this back on here the way it came off now, just like that. Now this piece here we can't use because it's not going to work any longer. You see something? Okay. Alright. And now we can snug this down here. And bring our cable back over where it belongs here. Like this. And now we just snug it down. Alright, now our cable is nice and tight. Now some of this stuff is battery protector that you spray over the top of this, and it keeps it from corroding in the future. So we're just going to spray it a couple times. We're going to let that dry a little bit and we'll spray it again. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to dry, we're going to do the exact same thing on this one here. Leave as much cable as you possibly can when you snip it. If anything falls, don't ever leave it laying in there. You don't want it to kick up and hit something. Make sure you get rid of it. Right. And again, you can use the cutters. Like that. Or you can use a razor blade, whatever works for you. Then we're going to reconnect our ends underneath here. just snugging it down right now. We're going to tighten it up real tight in a second. We're just holding those wires so that they don't slip out now. Now we're going to put this cable back on where it belongs here. As you can see, this one is much better, because the negative is a different size than the positive post. All right, then we'll tighten this up. Nice and tight. And last, we're going to spray that protector on this one too. Okay. All right, it beats having to change the entire battery cable itself, especially when you're on an older vehicle. All right, so that's it. We'll continue. All right. As always, thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody about anything. As always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. And just so you know, I am going to take these off right now, and I am going to clean them. As you can see, they're a mess. So, all right? All right, thanks again. See you on the next one.